I will ask now Dr. Paul Maurer, President of Montreat College, to have the floor.
I know it's been a long day and you've heard a lot of information, but it's not nap time. I'm not going to spend my time talking about the problem of cybersecurity. You know a lot about the problem of cybersecurity. I'm going to talk about one part of the solution to the cybersecurity problem that we all face. My two colleagues who have just spoken before me have both referred to cybersecurity as a war. It is a war. It's also a forever war. The cybersecurity war is not going anywhere. It is the economic and security threat of our time, and if you think back to the conversations we've had all day today, one of the threads that we've heard through cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence is cybercrime. Cybercrime is expected to be a $10 trillion problem globally this year. Just 2 years ago, it was $6 trillion. And we have a lot of work to do to catch up to the bad guys, because the bad guys are way ahead of the good guys at a global level. And I'm from the United States. I'm Paul Maurer. I'm president of Montreat College. We're one of the leading educational institutions in the United States in cyber education and workforce development. What I want to talk to you today about is not the technical factors of cybersecurity, but the human factor. Montreat College developed a value proposition some years ago that goes something like this. The problem of cybersecurity is not principally a technical problem. It is principally a human problem. And therefore, the solution to the cybersecurity problem is principally a human solution, not a technical solution. We do not believe that artificial intelligence will solve the cybersecurity problem. If your cyber leaders and cyber frontline operators are not people of character and ethics, if they don't do things the right way, your technology won't matter very much. When we began to narrate this value proposition to our federal government, to the White House, to the National Security Agency, the National Security Agency of the United States took notice. I got a call a few years ago from Lynn Clark, the former chief, now former chief, of the Center for Education, Innovation, and Outreach at our National Security Agency. The NSA in the United States is at the leading tip of the spear in terms of responsibility for cyber warfare and protecting our country's interests. She asked me if we at Montreat College would develop a curriculum for the schools that they designate as centers of academic excellence. In the United States, our federal government has taken the lead in educating the cyber workforce through the colleges and universities in the country. And they do so by being essentially the accrediting body, the accreditors. I don't know what accrediting looks like in your countries, but we have a peer review system in the United States where peers review peers, and that's the accrediting system. And the federal government does not actually run the higher educational system in the United States. But in the case of cybersecurity, the NSA took the leadership, which I think is very wise and very good because it impacts all things in the United States and because it's a war. As Lynn and I talked, we agreed that we would deliver both a curriculum for the now nearly 500 schools that the NSA designates as the National Center of Academic Excellence, but that we would also create a book for the current workforce in cybersecurity that's already working. They're already working for the government, they're already working for companies, they're already the frontline operators. And so she agreed that we would deliver both a curriculum and a book. She asked that, and the purpose of that curriculum and book it was very simple. It's to create a ethical framework for the cybersecurity students and professionals in their high-stakes, high-pressure decision-making. In other words, in the world of cybersecurity, there is no universally accepted set of guidelines for ethical decision-making. And she saw the need for it, called us, and we agreed to try to provide that for them. She asked me to put together a national blue ribbon advisory council, which we did. They have provided input and wisdom along the way. I have a co-author for the book. His name is Ed Scotus. Ed is a cybersecurity expert, one of the finest cyber experts in the United States. I am not a cyber expert. I'm a college president. I knew nothing about cybersecurity 11 years ago when I started in the college presidency, but it's become our most important major. It's what we're known for nationally, and it's our second largest program at the college. But I knew I needed cyber expertise, and Mr. Scotus works for the federal government in certain post-mortem cases. He's doing post-breach analysis with the federal government on the largest breaches in the United States, and he's done that for about 20 years. The product that we produced, a book called The Code of Honor, Embracing Ethics in Cybersecurity. And we had ordered a copy of that book to be given to each one of you at this forum, and we've been working for days to actually get that shipment to arrive here. I don't know if it will arrive by the close of the session tomorrow, but we're working furiously to get those here so you can take a copy of those home with you. Why the code? Why do we need the book, and why do we need the code? The code is an oath. It's an oath that we ask our students and workers to say, we abide by this as a code of ethical standards for how we do our jobs. Well, the reason why is because the greatest modernizations in the most essential fields through history have recognized the need for a universally adopted code of ethics. Medicine has the Hippocratic Oath. It's 2,000 years old. Law has legal ethics, also thousands of years old. Warfare has the Geneva Conventions. These are what civilized nations do. The Geneva Conventions are based on just war theory that goes back 2,000 years. We know that these oaths are voluntary and they're imperfect. They're voluntary and they're imperfect. However, civilized nations around the world for millennia, hundreds of years and millennia, have recognized these oaths as essential elements to how we conduct business in the civilized world. In cybersecurity, the economic and security threat of our time, there is no such widely adopted code or oath. We believe that the magnitude of cybersecurity is on par with the magnitude of medicine, law, and warfare. Cybersecurity also requires trust. And trust requires character. If you have your bank account at a local bank, there are cyber professionals who are guarding your money at your bank. They have the keys to your financial kingdom. You must trust them. If you cannot trust them and they have the keys to your kingdom, that spells trouble for you. It spells trouble for your citizens. And so we think that's an obvious understanding that may not be true in a lot of other sectors of society, but we think it's obvious in the world of cybersecurity. So here's the code, the oath. And I'm just going to read it and you can follow along with me. I solemnly swear to uphold to the best of my ability and judgment in all my professional duties, personal practices, and future endeavors the tenets of this pledge. I will treat all people with dignity and respect. I will seek the best interests of others. I will strive to recognize, take ownership, and appropriately communicate my mistakes and exercise patience towards those who make errors. I will be honest and trustworthy and above reproach in my actions and communications. I will not be a lone wolf, but will instead work collaboratively with my peers and superiors. I will endeavor to exercise patience, wisdom, and self-control in all situations. I will not steal and will do everything within my power to prevent theft in all of its forms. And finally, I will protect and respect the privacy of others. I'm not going to get into the details of how Ed and I came up with these 8. At one point it was 10, then it was 12, then it was 6. We combined. We wrestled for 6 months to come up with this. It's not perfect. You may have a different version of this. And again, like any oath or any code through history, you can pick it apart. You can pick apart the Hippocratic Oath. You can pick apart the Geneva Conventions. You can do that, and yet we needed something that we thought a broad array of people in the United States and across the world could agree upon. Our students at Montreat College sign this oath, this code, as a condition of graduation from our college. We are encouraging all the colleges in the United States to do this similarly with their students. And the NSA has made the teaching of ethics in cybersecurity a requirement now. It's not an optional course. It's a requirement, and this is the tool that they've given them. Let's apply the code for just one case scenario. Ransomware. We face an explosion of the devastation of ransomware attacks on a regular basis. This, of course, is where the cyber hackers will seize your computer systems. They will lock you and all of your employees or your government officials out of the system, and they will demand money in order to give you back your system. Attackers are getting more brazen. Industries, it's across all industries now, hospitals, schools, government, manufacturing. So here's a scenario. There's a mid-sized medical device engineering company. Ransomware shuts down its production capacity. Their systems are exploited through a third-party IT service provider. Many different medical device companies, including the competition, use this IT provider. So what's the big deal? The big deal is that your cyber professionals in your country have a lot of decisions to make in a very short period of time. They are very high-stakes decisions. The room gets very, very tense, and they have to answer a bunch of questions really fast, and they need guidance on how to do it. So here are a few of the questions on a ransomware attack. Is it reasonable to try to hack back and neutralize the attacker? Big question. Does the organization have a responsibility to alert the IT provider through whom which the attack came? Should the organization warn its competitors of the attack? If you're tracking with this, you can very easily understand that the Chief Information Security Officer, the Chief Information Officer are going to be wrestling with these decisions. Whether they say them out loud or not, they're thinking these things as they determine how they're going to respond. Should the organization notify law enforcement? What if the attacker demands that they not involve law enforcement? Do they call law enforcement or not? Should the organization pay the ransom? I will tell you, in the United States, again, I don't know what your situation is in your country. A lot of ransoms get paid in the United States, and there's so many ransomware attacks now that companies, organizations, governments are left on their own, not knowing how to deal with this. For this scenario, consider the implications of the principles of the code. I will treat all people with dignity and respect. I will be honest, trustworthy, and above reproach in my actions and communications. I will not be a lone wolf, but will instead work collaboratively with my peers and superiors. So many of these attacks, a person will not want to tell anybody, but instead work on it on their own. That's the wrong decision. It's a bad decision. I will endeavor to exercise patience really hard in a moment of crisis. Wisdom also really hard in a moment of crisis. And self-control. Hitting back is the easy thing to do. Maybe or maybe not, it's the right thing to do. So in conclusion, in the U.S., the National Security Agency has made the teaching of ethics a requirement for the nearly 500 schools that they have designated as centers of academic excellence. This book is the teaching tool for those 500 schools, the best of the best in the United States. The free governments of the world are responsible to educate and train the next generation of cyber professionals. You are leaders. This is a room filled with leaders and a room filled with people who have authority. If you believe that cybersecurity is a war, a forever war, that you are fighting, you are helping to lead the resistance against the cyber war. And so I don't know whether you have taken the lead, your governments have taken the lead in educating the next generation of cyber professionals. If not, I encourage you to consider that. I don't know whether you are open to a teaching tool that teaches them an ethical framework for how to make the decisions, to give guidance. If so, this is the tool that I've just presented is not just for the United States, it's for the world. It's for all of you. If you want this tool, it's yours for the taking. Again, I had a copy for you. It's lost somewhere. It's somewhere in the neighborhood. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere nearby. But we do have a way for you to get it, and I'll show you that in a second. We believe that ethics must be taught to create a trustworthy and wise workforce in the war against cybersecurity. If you'd like to order a copy, you can order it with a left QR code. If you want to examine and think about the code itself, you can download it on the right QR code. I'll leave these up for you for just a moment. I hope that you can, and if your country is using your educational system, we would be open to a Zoom call, a visit, be happy to talk to presidents of your universities, presidents of your university systems, chancellors, the leaders of your country's educational system, because the cyber war will not be fought by the military alone. It will be fought through the educational systems of your country, and we stand by, happy to help. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Maurer.